태평성대 길이 빛내세 자유천일국 숭고한 하늘 빛깔 순결의 백합 선하고 빛난 정신 이어가도다 오대영 육대주 천주까지도 억만세 태평성대 길이 빛내세 평화천일국 순정의 기쁨이 있다 천년한 날에 영생의 이상향을 나타내도다 오대영 육대주 천주까지도 억만세 태평성대 길이 빛내세 통일천일국 사계절 휘날리는 천일국 깃발 천진 참부모님 소망하도다 오대영 육대주 천주까지도 억만세 태평성대 길이 빛내세 행복천일국.
Let's begin. Today is the 7th day of the 3rd month in the 9th year of Channel Group, April 18, 2021. To begin our day, let's offer our respect and gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and all humankind. 천진 천부모님께 경배. 바로. Let us recite 가정맹세.
가정맹세 1. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상천국과 천상천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 천일국 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Let's offer our greetings to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. Let's offer our greetings to our leaders, our national leader, Sir L.A. Halog. Today, for our Honduke, let's welcome the principal of Sunwa International Academy, Professor Lorna Lansangan, for the opening prayer.
Let us join our hearts and our mind and be with this prayer. Our loving Heavenly Parent and our victorious true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, thank you very much for the beautiful day that you have given to us once again. Thank you for the love and for the embracing heart that you have given to all of us as your children. We really pray that we continue our day and we open this day as a beautiful and memorable, not only to the providence of restoration, but to all of us, loving Father, as your children, as your partner in the providence of restoration. Thank you for the guidance that you give to us every morning through this morning devotion. Truly, this is a beautiful tradition that our true parents have brought to us. This is a beautiful tradition that we could let our descendants inherit. This is a beautiful tradition that we let our children inherit, loving Father, and continue. And also a tradition wherein we could invite our ancestors to join us in our daily life, loving Father, to begin our life with you. For the past days, we have a lot of events that went through online, loving Father. And because of your love, they were all successful. And we participated despite the pandemic, loving Father, because of the virtual platform that you have introduced to us to continue and to move forward, loving Father, like our true mother have expressed before the pandemic, that there should be no stopping, loving Father. Thank you very much that because of our true mother, we couldn't lose our hope and we couldn't have any doubt, loving Father, that we could realize your kingdom of heaven on earth and could establish the kingdom of heaven in the spirit world. Because many of us was able to liberate our ancestors and bless our ancestors. Many of the blessed central families are actively participating the Heavenly Tribal Messiah, where we could give blessing to our tribe, loving Father. And because of that, despite our limitations and shortcomings as your children, you still have awarded so many blessed central family around the world, loving Father, with Chonbo Award. You continuously giving blessing to all the willing first generation and second generation who would want to receive blessings from our true parents and who would choose to live a life where our true parents have introduced to us. Truly, loving Father, your amazing love to us is not a doubt, loving Father, and we always want to carry that into our heart, that we must be very grateful no matter what, loving Father. Please continue, guide, protect, and bless our brothers and sisters, especially those who are in difficulty, and also continue to protect us from this ongoing virus, loving Father. It's becoming more fearful, loving Father, to all of us. But we know with your guidance and with the guidance of the government, loving Father, if we are that cooperative, we will be protected. Thank you so much. We offer to you this day. We offer to you all our brothers and sisters who are joining us in this morning devotion, virtually loving Father. And we offer to you our leaders who would be the mouthpiece for the source of inspiration for this morning. Thank you so much. Thank you for this gathering, virtually loving Father. Please allow us to be more repentful, everyday loving Father. Guide us as well, loving Father, to always seek for your guidance and intervention into our daily lives. Forgive us for our sins and continuously guide us, loving Father, so that we will become your effective partner in the providence of restoration. We could reach the level of being your true sons and daughters. This we humbly pray and offer to you in the name of Rene and Lorna Lansangan, Blessed Central Family. Aju. Aju.
Aju. Aju. Thank you very much, Ma'am Lorna, for that heartfelt prayer. Let us now offer our individual prayer. Aju. Let us offer our appreciation for this morning that we can join this morning hunduke, and for the reading of the book of our true mother. Let's welcome Teacher Maribeth Dapon.
Good morning, Heavenly Parents and true parents. Good morning, leaders. Good morning, brothers and sisters. So our reading for today is taken from Mother of Peace, a memoir by Hatcha Hanmun. Chapter 10, The Challenge of Realizing a Heavenly World. This is a continuation. My heart is especially with Japan during natural disasters and other difficult times. During the great earthquake of Tohoku, the Kumamoto earthquakes, and the floods of Okayama prefectures, countless lives were lost and the damage was overwhelming. When such calamities occur, I offer my condolences and wholehearted support. In the context of God's global providence, true parents bless Japan as the mother nation. A mother gives everything to her children unconditionally, just as a mother goes without sleep to take care of her children. Japan is walking the path of sacrifice with the heart of a mother for the sake of the world, love, and service in South America. We are probably worse off than Africa, lamented many of the locals of South America to whom I talked. Even though we have many resources and so called democratic institutions, our lives are very poor. The continent of South America, like Africa, has a history of grief, exploitation, and poverty. It was occupied for over 300 years by powerful European countries that subjugated its peoples and appropriated its gold, silver, and other resources. Moreover, the European introduced foreign diseases that decimated native populations that had no immunity to those germs. In the early 19th century, South American countries fought for and finally attained their independence, and many sought to establish democracies, but too often governments became riddled with corruption, and later communist and fascist movements arose and used people's resentments to prop up harsh dictatorships. All of this meant that untold millions of people suffered and died through human cruelty. The first thing I did I got off an airplane in South America was offer a prayer to liberate and comfort the anguish of those people in the spiritual. Despite their miserable hardships, I have seen that the South American people lead decent and honest lives, working hard for even a little improvement. They also have a very strong faith in God. Much of the continent is rich with potential as natural resources are abundant and the weather is temperate. Moreover, South America is a gift from God in that it possesses large areas of unspoiled nature. Anyone who goes to South America will feel a deep affinity for the vast land, abundant natural beauty, and the kind and pleasant people. In South America, my husband and I offered continual prayer and devotions. We call Jongsung, my husband's visit to five Latin American nations in 1965, were the first footsteps of the Unification Church on that continent. In the decades that followed, our missionaries established foundations throughout Central and South America, building churches, witnessing, and increasing our membership, working for healthy marriages and families, and connecting these nations to global efforts for peace and reconciliation. Most South Americans are Catholic, while Protestantism is growing there as well. As with the other peoples of the world, Latin Americans are open to exploring new pathways of relating to God, and we spread the divine principle teachings with all our heart. The most influential project we invested in there was the educational project we named CAUSA. Father Moon and I created CAUSA in the 1980s because Marxist revolutionaries in Central and South America were gaining influence. For a time, it seemed the entire continent might become communist. We knew that if Mexico became communist, the United States would have to withdraw its troops from around the world to protect its southern border. This withdrawal of US troops would have allowed communism's evil influence to spread in many countries, including South Korea and Japan. The Council lectures provided a clear critique and counterproposal to communism to thousands of leaders and young people in Latin America and elsewhere in the world. Through this educational series, many former and current national leaders rejected communism's ideology and deceitful calls for revolution. My husband and I conducted the True Parents and the Completed Testament Age speaking tour of six Latin American nations in 1993, the True Family and I speaking tour of 17 Latin American nations in 1995. During those tours, we met the presidents of eight nations. Each one of them thanked my husband and me for halting the advance of communism in their country. On that foundation, we created economic projects to connect Paraguay, Uruguay, Brazil, and Argentina with the aim of bringing South America together as one family of nations. The original beauty of Mother Nature. Our motorboat, which was basically a rowboat with an engine, noisily chugged its way across the deep blue Paraguay River. Halfway across, one passenger suddenly stood up, and the boat rocked wildly from side to side. The other passenger cried out, fearing the boat would capsize. Just as everyone settled back down, someone yelled, "Ay, what's that?" Before our eyes, a bizarre-looking fish jumped high out of the water and landed on the deck. There it flapped around in the hot sun, shaking its salmon-sized body and gnashing its dozens of razor-sharp teeth. The frightened passengers moved away from it, protecting their legs as the boatman calmly picked it up with a long stick and tossed it back into the river. It looked scary. What is it called? Someone asked. It is a dorado, he said. It's Spanish for golden. The dorado is one of the countless species of fish peculiar to the waters of Mato Grosso do Sul, one of the Midwestern states of Brazil. The Paraguay River, which forms the border between that part of Brazil and Paraguay, is abundant not only in such fish, but in every kind of living organism. In the regions of South America that are near the equator, the weather is either a warm springtime or hot summer. Flowers are constantly in bloom, and fruit is abundant for the picking. It is pleasant land for human habitation in harmonious coexistence with the animal and plant life. In Aju.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Maribeth Dapon, for reading our True Mother's memoir. Let us appreciate our True Mother for those precious words that is being shared to us through this Funduke. Now, to share her 10 points of gratitude, let's welcome one of the teachers of Sunwa, Miss Mary Ann Bravo.
Good morning, Heavenly Parent and true parents. Good morning, leaders, brothers, and sisters. My 10 points of gratitude. First, I am grateful for this beautiful day. Second, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Heavenly Parent and true parents for giving me a chance to make my life better. Third, I am grateful and beyond blessed to have my parents who brought me in this beautiful world. Fourth, I am grateful to my spiritual parent. They are the instrument used by heaven and my ancestors, and I had a chance to meet our church, which led me to study and finish my degree in IPLC. I am so thankful and grateful to my spiritual birthplace, IPLC, to my dearest alma mater. Thank you for raising me. Fifth, sixth, I am thankful and grateful also for the trainings, fundraising, and witnessing. Though I struggled a lot when I was a student, but looking back those memories, it helped me a lot to strengthen my faith and relationship to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. Okay, seventh, I am so grateful for this loving, beautiful, healthy body that I have that continues to get stronger every day. Eight, I am so grateful for the mission and work I do now, and I'm so thankful for being part of Sunhwa International Academy. 9, thank you so much for the time and chance also to meet new people, to work with, new challenges, and new experiences. It helps me to learn and grow more to be a better person. And last, I am so grateful to receive my spouse and to be blessed with him. And I'm so thankful for this beautiful gift by heaven and from our true parents. He is my inspiration now to do my very best every day and to look forward in the future. Thank you so much, Heavenly Parent and true parents.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Mayan, for sharing your 10 points of gratitude. and always reminding us to be grateful every day in our life. Wow. We now come to the offering song. This will be rendered to us by selected primary pupils of the Sunwa International Academy. Let us listen to their wonderful song for this morning.
Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son.
Wow, thank you very much, primary pupils of the Sunwa International Academy. Give thanks. Wow. So there are so many things that we can be grateful and thankful in our life. And this morning, again, another reason for us to be grateful is we will be receiving an internal guidance, words from our Heavenly Parent and true parents through the representative in this country. Let's welcome our national leader, Sir Leo Angelo Halog, for the internal guidance.
Thank you very much, Sir Robert. First, I would like to greet our Heavenly Parent and true parents. Good morning, our Heavenly Parents and true parents. To all our leaders, the central families, brothers and sisters, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Thank you very much to all our leaders and staff, teachers of our Sonhua International Academy, especially our very precious children who participated in today's morning devotion, and also by hosting our morning devotion today. Today is Sunday, so I would like to greet everyone. Happy Sunday to all, and let's really have a great Sunday. Yeah, today is really a very special day again, as we are now celebrating a True Parents Holy Wedding Anniversary. So yesterday we had a very successful YSP World Assembly, and I would like to congratulate all brothers and sisters, especially Bicol region, for winning, our sister Rika for winning the first ever World Synergy. Yeah, so really this is great blessing to our nation. So let's really take pride in it, and be able to raise up more young brothers and sisters that can really give honor and glory to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. So today I would like to share with you Today is our 77th day of our national morning devotion. So thank you so much for always being with us every morning. This morning, I would like to share this topic entitled Leaving Behind a Legacy of Love. So let's study together. Sorry, I need to. Okay, so Father said, a true life is a life in which we abandon our private desires and live for public good. So a true life is a life in which we abandon our private desires and live for the public good. This is a truth taught by all major religious leaders, past and present, east and west, whether it be Jesus, Buddha, or the Prophet Muhammad. It is a truth that it is so widely known that sadly it seems to have been devalued. The passage of time or changes in the world cannot diminish the value of this truth. This is because the essence of human life never changes, even in the midst of rapid change all around the world. So, this is a very important reminder from True Father that a true life is a life in which we abandon our private desires and live for the public good. So, Father is always teaching us about living for the sake of others. So, only our life will going to have meaning if truly we are living for the public good and then abandoning our private desires. So, Father is explaining to us that this truth cannot diminish even how many generations will pass, right? Because the essence of human life never changes. So actually, as our heavenly parent is unchanging, right? The same is true with human beings. And then our value is unchanging also. It never changes, even as time passes, how many generations from now, right? So this absolute truth will remain the same and it will never change, no matter what kind of changes the world will going to have. So Father is saying here, this is a truth taught by all major religious leaders, past and present, east and west, whether it be the time of Jesus, Buddha, Prophet Muhammad. It is a truth that is so widely known that, sadly, Father said, it seems to have been devalued. So people are now living more privately, just focusing with their private life. So that is not the true life, right? True life is really living for the sake of others, prioritizing public more than our private life, right? This is really, really important. We have to really understand. That's why in the environment, in the universe, we can see how other creatures are living the way they are living, prioritizing others, public first, right? Starting from, we can see the sun, all other creatures, they are existing for the sake of others, not for their own. The same is true with human beings, right? So this is really important that whatever advancement now in science and technology, these things will always remain the same, right? As human beings, the value is also unchanging, right? True Father said, our heart is even more precious than our parents. The teacher with whom we have the closest relationship is our heart. Our heart is more precious to us than our closest friends, and even more precious than our parents. So as we live our lives, we need periodically to ask our hearts, am I living a good life now? Anyone can hear his heart speaking to him. If he comes to the realization that his heart is his master, he polishes his heart and maintains a close relationship with his heart throughout his life. If a person hears the sound of his heart tearfully sobbing, then he needs to stop immediately whatever he is doing. Anything that makes the heart suffer will ruin him. Anything that makes the heart sad will eventually make the person fall into sadness. So, how important? So, this time we are living in the our situation now. We are really in the revolutionizing our hearts, right? when we talk about kingdom of heaven is a world of heart. So that's why this time we need to develop more artistic relationship. We heard that, if there is artistic distance, starting from heavenly parent and true parents, all problems can occur between parents and child, right? In all, in the community, right? That's why how important to build that relationship. And then everything begins from, knowing and understanding how precious our heart is, right? Father is saying here, even more precious than our own parents. That's why, our parents is not always with us. Our teachers, our leaders, they are not always with us, right? But 24 hours, our original mind, our heart is with us, continuously reminding us. Father is saying here, we need to periodically ask our hearts. Sometimes some people, they are doing like periodic checkup or annually. So why? What is the purpose of this? In order for us to know, are we healthy? Right? So how about our hearts? Are we checking our heart? So we need to continuously check. Father is saying we need to periodically ask our hearts, am I living a good life now? We need to evaluate how we are living our life. So anyone can hear his heart speaking to him. If he comes to the realization that his heart is his master, he polishes his heart and maintains a close relationship with his heart throughout his life. If we only understand, Father said, that our heart is our master, then we will going to maintain this close relationship in our heart, with our heart throughout our life. If a person hears the sound of his heart tearfully sobbing, then he needs to stop immediately whatever he is doing. That's why many times actually when we do something wrong, we can feel something, in our heart, that it doesn't feel good, right? Like our heart is, is crying, wanted us to stop something that we are doing if it's not, in accordance to our heart's desire, right? So Father said here, anything that makes the heart suffer will ruin him. And then anything that makes the heart sad will eventually make the person fall into sadness. That's why, why people, they are doing their best. They are doing everything they wanted to do. But actually they are not happy because their heart is suffering with what people are doing, right? So if our hearts are suffering, Father said, anything that makes the heart sad will eventually make the person fall into sadness. So now, if we realize that why we are not happy, then we have to check what we are doing. So maybe we are continuously still doing something that really are making our heart, suffer. So when we are doing things that make our heart suffer, eventually it will make us unhappy. It will make us sad, right? So immediately Father said, if you hear your heart is sobbing, tearfully, immediately you need to stop what you are doing. That's why we need to have always heart check, right? Our original mind always tells us. So if our heart is sad, not happy, then eventually, you will never be happy. That's why that this is more important than any relationship, Father said, even more than our parents, right? That's why our heart, this is God within us. This is built in. So immediately, each one of us can evaluate, right? Can have heart check from time to time. And then if our heart is happy, then we can be happy. If our heart is sad, then we can fall into sadness. That's why we need to be very careful with our hearts. True Father said, it will not happen in a day. For a person to polish his heart to the point that it becomes as clear as crystal, he absolutely must spend time in direct conversation with his heart, in an environment where he is away from the world and alone with his heart. It will be a time of intense loneliness. But the moment that we become close to our hearts is the time of prayer and meditation. It is a time when we can take ownership over our hearts. When we isolate ourselves from the noise around us and allow our thoughts to settle, we can see into the deepest parts of our hearts. It will take a lot of time and effort to go all the way down to where the heart has settled. It will not happen in a day. So it really needs a lot of effort. So Father said it will be a time of intense loneliness, but the moment that we become close to our hearts is the time of prayer and meditation. So a time of prayer and meditation, that's why true Father is encouraging us, right? That's why we can see religious people who are practicing, meditation, especially Buddhism, right? This is time of communication to our heart. So Father is saying here, for a person to polish his heart to the point that it becomes as clear as crystal, he absolutely must spend time in direct conversation with his heart in an environment where he is away from the world and alone with his heart. That's why Father is telling us, also in time of prayer, you need to know when is the best time for you. Kasi iba-iba kasi tayo minsan eh. There are people who are more, at the middle of the night. There is really best time for us where we can directly communicate with our hearts, that we can really feel. So, and then also Father is saying here, very important also the environment where he or she is away from the world and alone with his heart. Sometimes if you have a lot of children, very difficult to pray. If you are in an environment that is noisy, you cannot communicate with your heart. That's why sometimes, with our children, we need to wait for maybe when they're sleeping at the night time, the middle of the night, right? Then you can communicate to your heart. That's why it's very, very important, Father said. So when we isolate ourselves from the noise around us and allow our thoughts to settle, we can see into the deepest parts of our hearts. So that's the time that we can really understand and see what is, the deepest part of our heart. And then Father said it will take a lot of time and effort to go all the way down to where the heart has settled. It will not happen in a day. So our continuous effort really is absolutely needed. So it's just not today you realize and then you pray today and then after that you go back to your own routine. It will never happen. It will never happen. So in order for us to go all the way, Father said, to the deepest parts of our heart, it really takes a lot of effort and time, really a lot of investment in order for us to, completely become one with our heart. Aju, aju. So this is very important in our life. Changing one's life, it's not easy. It will not happen in a day. Today we are doing hunduke. After this, you change your life. It will never happen. One day or 1 month, it will never happen. It really needs a lot of effort and seriousness, right? And our devotion, our determination is absolutely needed in order for us to have this relationship with our heart and really completely change our life. Aju? Aju. True Father said, we cannot be happy alone or speak of peace alone. Just as love is not for our own sake, so happiness and peace are not for ourselves. Just as love can never exist without a partner, happiness and peace cannot exist without a partner. All this can exist only in the context of a relationship with a partner. Nothing can be accomplished if we love alone. We cannot be happy alone or speak of peace alone. Since a partner is what enables us to have happiness and peace, the partner is more important than we are. So this is truly important. That's why we could see in nature, everything is created in pairs. What is the purpose? Father is telling us our partner is more important than we are. So when we talk about happiness, when we talk about peace, these things can never happen if you are alone. These things can only be experienced through a partner. So Father said, just as love can never exist without a partner, happiness and peace cannot exist without a partner. That's why even though people are continuously talking about peace, right? If they are only thinking about their own selves, it will never happen. And then this is most important, that our partner is more important than we are. So for husband and wife, right? My spouse, very beautiful picture of true parents. This time I could see so many pictures of true parents, so beautiful. Really so important. So we could see our true parents really showing us, teaching us by example, right? So that's why when we talk about happiness, we can never be happy alone. When we talk about peace, we cannot be happy alone. When we talk about love, right? We can never be happy alone. We cannot experience this on our own, right? It can only be experienced through a partner. Aju, that's how important it is. So like the government and people, right? That's why how can we have, a prosperous and really peaceful world? If people doesn't understand this concept, this principle, we cannot achieve, an ideal society. We cannot achieve an ideal world, ideal nation, right? That's why give and take, and then giving value more to your partner. This will be the ones that can give you joy and happiness, that can give you peace, can let you experience love more than anything, right? That's why our partner is more important than our own life. Aju, our spouse, our children, the people in our community, for teachers, and now Sonwa, more important is the students. The partner is more important than us, right? In order for us to experience happiness, peace, and then love. Aju, this is really, really important. Father said, the child is the mother's lifeline. Think about a mother carrying a baby on her back, sitting at an entrance to the subway, selling homemade snacks to the people passing by. To be at the spot in time for the morning rush hour, she will have spent the whole night preparing the snacks and put her fussing child on her back to come to the station. People passing by might say, "Oh, you could get along well if only you didn't have the child to care for." But it is for the sake of the child that the mother lives her life. The child on her back is the mother's lifeline. So really, for the parent and child, the most important, for the parents are the children, right? So this is a story that father was sharing. People are saying, that, oh, you could get along well if only you didn't have the child to care for. But it is for the sake of the child that the mother lives her life. So the purpose of the mother's life is actually because of her child, right? That's why the child on her back is the mother's lifeline. That's why how much father's emphasizing, you know, parents' life has no meaning without, the children. So the children is actually willing to give up even their life for the sake of their partner, for the sake of their children. The same is true with husband and wife, right? So our life actually depends on our partner, our lifeline. So meaning our existence has no meaning, has no value without our partner. The same is true with parent and child. So if this philosophy, if this principle is, we could let all people know about this. In every relationship, if in every relationship they prioritize their partner, then kingdom of heaven will naturally be realized. Aju, Aju, this is really important. That's why our life depends on our partner. So the same is true here, right? That's why the mother here is really doing everything for the sake of the child, right? Because his life or her life, like her lifeline, is connected to the child's life. Very, very important to understand. So this is very interesting. Father said, a person may live life, or a person may live 80 years, but only spend about 7 years living for public good. Today, people can expect to live about 80 years. So 80 years of joy, anger, sorrow, happiness, and all the other emotions mixed together may seem like a long time. But if we take away the private time that a person spends sleeping, working, and eating, and then the time we spend talking, laughing, and having fun with family members and friends, attending weddings and funerals, and time spent lying sick in the bed, only about 7 years will remain. A person may live 80 years, but only spend about 7 years living for the public good. So this is the reality of human beings' life. Can you imagine if you live 80 years, Father said, and then when you start to calculate, all the time you spend for eating, sleeping, working, having fun with your family members, laughing together with your friends, attending wedding, funerals, and then when you get sick, lying in the bed, when you count all these things, only 7 years will remain. So a person may live 80 years, but only spend about 70 years living for public good. So this is the reality of human beings' life. So, this 80 years is filled with mixed emotions, happiness, anger, sorrow, jealousy, or every, emotions that you can say. So this kind of life we are spending on earth. But, Father said, when you calculate everything, only 7 years will remain. Like only 7 years you spent, living for the public good. Can you imagine this is the reality? Now, actually, bumaba na nga ngayon yung lifespan ng tao around 67 years for Filipinos. Of course, for Japan and Korea, other nations, is still around 84 yata sa Japan, saka sa Korea, sa Japan. Mahaba pa talagang life doon. That's why 60, 70 sa kanila still very, very strong. So, but in the Philippines, because of the lifestyle, our environment situation also, 67 years na lang ang lifespan ng buhay ng Pilipino. Can you imagine? So many people are dying at 50, 60. Ito, mahaba na nga ang buhay. Sabi nila, when you reach 60 in the Philippines, right? Can you imagine when you calculate that kind of life? So how many years remain? So this is the reality of our life, right? So a person may live 80 years but only spend about 7 years living for the public good. So Father said, only the 7 years that he lived for public good will remain. So Father said, life is like a rubber band. The same 7 years given to two different people can either be spent as 7 years or as 70. Time by itself is empty. We need to put things in it. The same is true about a person's life. Everyone wants to live his life with a comfortable place to sleep and good things to eat. Eating and sleeping, however, are simply ways of letting time slip by. In the moment that a person has lived out his life and his body is laid to rest in the ground, all wealth and glory become nothing more than a bubble and disappear at once. Only the 7 years that he lived for the public good will remain and be remembered by posterity. Those 7 years are the trace that is left in the world of a life that lasted 80 years. This is the reality of our life. Father said, this is very inspiring. Life is like a rubber band. So the same 7 years given to two different people can either be spent as 7 years or as 70 years. So it depends on us, the life given to us, how much we will be, how are we going to live our life. Father said, time by itself is empty. We need to put things in it. The same is true about a person's life. Sometimes many people have lived their life, but actually when you look at their life, it's empty. They couldn't put anything there. That's why it depends on us. Even though you live short, for example, some people, they live only short life, but depends on how they live their life. Father is saying here, for example, you were given like 7 years, but it depends on you. Life is like a rubber band. You can spread that. You can, anong term doon, yung binatin mo. And then you can live 10 times, 70 years. It depends on you. What kind of life you will be living, right? So it's really important. Kaya nga, sabi ni Father dito, eating and sleeping are just simply ways of letting time slip by. Kaya nga minsan, kapag nag-fasting ka, recently I did yung 3 days fasting. Kapag nag-fasting ka, you can do many things kasi you are not thinking of eating. Some brothers and sisters, kakatapos ng mag 7 days. If you really, come to think about it, kapag nag-fasting ka and then you focus with what you need to do, you can accomplish more. But kapag hindi ka nag-fasting, kakain ka minsan, you eat for how many minutes? 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then after eating, marami pang kwentuhan yan, di ba? So, these are, sabi ni Father, these things are just, being used to let time slip by. Parang nasasayang lang yung time natin. And then we don't know how long we will live on this earth, right? So Father said, in the moment that a person has lived out his life and his body is laid to rest in the ground, all wealth and glory become nothing more than a bubble and disappear at once. And then, only the 7 years that he lived for the public good will remain and remembered by posterity. Can you imagine? Kaya nga, ang mga tao ngayon, they live, they die. Mamaya nakalimutan na actually sila. Right? People who didn't really live significantly on earth. Very easy to forget. So, ordinary people, sabi ni Father dito, even though they live 80 years, just, very short time lang ang na-spent nila living for others. That's why our life given to us is a gift. Whether how long we will live here, we have to live really beyond the literal years that we live physically. Meaning, we have to really live more for others, sacrifice more for others, and really live something that this world will never forget. That's why title nga natin ngayon, Living a Legacy of Love. That people will never forget. Right? So people who have done something good in our society, we never forget them, even until now. Diba? Si Mother Teresa, si Mahatma Gandhi, even national hero natin na nagsulat lang siya ng ganito for our nation. So we cannot forget them. Right? People who have sacrificed and lived for others, even have given their life for other people. Can you imagine now we were given this opportunity to live in this time with our beloved true parents? We should be absolutely people that can be remembered for eternity. Absolutely, we should be that kind of people living in this time. Kaya nga, minsan iniisip ko, siguro if our descendants really were very, very grateful to us, siguro patayuan nila tayo ng ribulto. Si Jose Rizal nga, kung saan ka pumunta, may ribulto siya. Diba? So, how much more we living together with true parents now, really completely changing history. You know, these people who have lived in the past, yeah, of course, they have contributed much. They have really inspired people. But still, history, they have never changed. They could never change history. Right? But true parents came. Starting from true parents and then us now living together with true parents, we are completely changing history. Kaya nga lagi kong sinasabi, time will come, iba na ang pag-aaralan ng mga tao ng history. History starting from true parents and then from us, together with us na nabuhay together with true parents. That's why we have to really make and stretch our life, you know, live beyond the time that God will be giving us physically on earth. Aju, that's how lucky we are living in this time. Kaya sabi ni Father dito, you know, time by itself is empty. We will be the ones that will be putting something in it so that our life on earth will be valuable, will be honored, will be remembered by generations to come. Aju, this is truly an amazing opportunity given to us by heaven. So let's live really for public, right? We are created, that way. Live for others. No one was born just for themselves. Aju, that's why we are really, really grateful living in this time. With our beloved true parents, new history is being created, and then we are the ones, together with true parents, creating this new history. Aju, can you imagine? Really, our descendants will be very, very grateful later on. They will be very, very proud to their grandfather, grandmother, right? To their ancestors, that will be us. We are now the ancestor. Even though our descendants, even our, mga ninuno natin, ancestors in the spiritual world, tayo na ngayon yung ancestor. Aju, really amazing. Cannot imagine this blessing that was given to us. So Father said, we do not come into this world or depart from it of our own accord. We do not come into this world or depart from it of our own accord. We have no ability to make choices with regard to our faith. We are born, though we did not choose to be born. We live, though we did not choose to live. We die, though we do not choose to die. We have no authority over these aspects of our lives. So how can we boast that we are somehow better than others? We cannot be born by our own wish, possess things that will forever be our own, or avoid death. So any boasting on our part would only be pathetic. This is our life. That's why, individualism has no, space in this world. Why? Because we are not born on our own. We didn't just appear on this earth. That's why individualism actually has no room for this world. But, what happens? This world became, so individualistic. People are just living on their own, boasting of what they have achieved and accomplished. Father is saying here, how can you boast? Something, especially telling that you are better than others, right? So we cannot be born by our own wish, possess things that will forever be our own, or avoid death. So any boasting on our part would only be pathetic. So that's why this is really important. That's why everything to us is just, borrowed from heaven. We have to really live in accordance to how God created us, right? So we don't have any authority, Father said, over these aspects of our lives. So how can we boast that we are somehow better than other people? So we came here because of our heavenly parent, because of our creator. That's why we have to fulfill our responsibility in accordance to our creator's, desire. Aju? That's why kaya ngayong buhay natin, we cannot just decide what we just want to do in our life. Because that your life doesn't belong to you. Our life doesn't belong to us. So, hindi pwedeng gawin mo lang anything you want. Right? Because that's not how you were created. Right? So, if something, something that you have created, pumapalya, iba yung, halimbawa, minsan itong mouse na ginagamit natin, minsan, ginagamit mo, hindi na makontrol. Anong gagawin mo dito? You will throw this away. Right? Hindi na makontrol, hindi niya na magawa yung purpose niya. The same is true with human beings. If human beings cannot fulfill what God, originally purposed them to fulfill, then human beings has no value. Kaya nga tayo, what we need to do is really just, align ourselves to what Heavenly Parents wanted us to do. Hindi lang na gawin natin anything we wanted because this life doesn't belong to us. Aju? That's why now very clear. Everything became very clear because of true parents. Already we learn what we need to fulfill in our life. Already very clear. Our portion of responsibility. Right? The three great blessings we need to fulfill. And really we need to become sons and daughters of heaven. We need to, become mature, build ideal family, fulfill our heavenly tribal Messiah mission, right? Become Chonbu families, and then, expand to the world. And then we really become the true owner of this world. Aju? And really become true sons and daughters of our heavenly parent. So this is a very clear purpose of our life, very clear way to go. Aju? So Father said, even if we rise to a position higher than others, the honor is only temporary. Even if we rise to a position higher than others, the honor is only temporary. Even if we gather more possessions than others, we must leave them all behind at the gates of death. Money, honor, and knowledge all flow away from us in time, and all disappear with the passing years. No matter how noble and great a person might be, his is nothing more than a pitiable life that will end the moment he loses hold of his lifeline. This is truly very important. Why people, continuously, accumulating assets for themselves. They are thinking that, they will live by these things forever, right? Can you imagine if only people can understand that our life is temporary? Everything is temporary in this world, right? That when you, meet the moment of death, everything you will leave behind. If only people really understand this, people will be naturally living their lives for others, right? So Father said, no matter how noble and great a person might be, his is nothing more than a pitiable life that will end the moment he loses hold of his lifeline. That's why what will really remain is important, right? What are we going to leave behind when we pass on to the next world? How people will remember us. Ngayon, how can we try to evaluate yung sarili natin? For example, try to imagine, when people hear your name, what will people remember sa'yo? Kung ikaw, yung mga magnanakaw, pag narinig yung pangalan nila, magnanakaw yan. Right? So, whatever, pag narinig ng mga tao yung name natin, what will people remember from us? So, that is very, very important. That will be the legacy that we can leave on this earth. Right? That's why now, living together with true parents, we are given the greatest blessing more than anyone. Now, how many people living on earth? 7.8 billion people on earth. How many people knows true parents? Yeah, of course, actually, this is our lapses because we are lacking in testifying and telling people. But, when you really try to understand how really fortunate am I, right? More than, with the 7.8 billion people, I was included with the minority who knows true parents, or, this time, still, who really knows them fully, understand their value, understand, the life the true parents have, is fulfilling. Really amazing. So, what kind of legacy we need to leave, right? How do we want that people will remember us? That's why, in the time of Songwa, that is actually really, that is the time that we can determine how much the person have lived his life. Kaya nga po yung Songwa, sabi ni Father, very, very important. It's like a wedding day. It's even more important than our wedding day, right? How important kasi diyan makikita from that moment when the person will pass away, what kind of legacy he will going to leave on this earth. Aju, that's why leaving a legacy of love, Father said, that our life, our name, we will be remembered from generation to generation. This is us. How lucky and fortunate people we are, right? That's why I cannot really imagine how really how great this blessing that we have received from true parents, even though there are a lot of difficulties, right? Let's really unite completely with our beloved true mother and really work together to fulfill our responsibilities no matter what. Because whether we fulfill it or not, already people will going to remember us somehow, And then what kind of memory will remain? If that's why true mother said, no one should be left behind. Everyone should be victorious, especially our blessed central families. Tayo na mga core who have been sacrificing, for our mga elder blessed families natin already from your young age. Until now, you are here with true parents, right? That's why true mother's greatest happiness is for true mother to see all the central families become victorious, all the central families to become Chonbo families. This is also true parents' pride. That's why how much true mothers continuously encouraging us, right? Because we are the pride of true parents. As our true parents is our pride. True parents is everything for us. The same is true for true parents. Blessed central families, we are the most precious. We are the most precious for true parents. That's why when blessed family, when we fulfill our mission, how much joy and happiness true parents could experience. Aju, that's why true mother is always telling us, no one should be left behind. All my children, true parents is proud of you. True mother is telling us all the time. Our young brothers and sisters, our blessed central families. Aju, that's why together with true parents, let's live something that this world will never forget, that will be remembered forever, for eternity. Aju, as blessed central families, as the pride of true parents, let's really change this world completely and really make this world a better place for all generations to come. Aju, and really substantially build kingdom of heaven on this earth. Aju, that's why let's really open more our hearts and really love and embrace people, right? And really fulfill our responsibility no matter what. This is the only thing that we can live. Now, of course, we need other things, material things, but all these things are all temporary. So we need to really understand our purpose. And then whatever we have accumulated already for many years, let's use all these things so that we can really leave more, better legacy for the future, for our children to be proud of, right? This is really now the time to invest everything, our heart, our mind, our effort, our resources, everything that God has given us so far this time. Let's use everything to realize Channel Group, to build kingdom of heaven, make true parents proud of us, make our descendants, our ancestors proud of us, and truly become, right, sons and daughters of heavenly parent. Aju, and really become a model in our society, in our community. And really, history will tell who you are later on. Aju, who we are later on, living in this time with our beloved true parents. Aju, Aju. So today, we receive this amazing blessing from our beloved true parents. Let's really do our best and really reflect and really work harder and really live something that really this world will be proud of. Aju, Aju, let's really give a big hand to our heavenly parent and true parents. Thank you so much to all our leaders and brothers and sisters, blessed central families. Brothers and sisters, we are all precious. Let's really do our best, live to the fullest, right? And really bring joy and happiness to heavenly parents and true parents and really bring great change in this world. Thank you very much. May God bless you and your families. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, our national leader, Sir Leo Angelo Halog. Let us appreciate our national leader for such a wonderful message coming from the precious words of our true parents. So this always remind us to live our life, living a legacy of love. As our true parents always mention in his speeches, that the amount, the time that we live here on earth is nothing compared to our life in the eternal world once we live a life for the sake of God's will and its accomplishments. Again, thank you very much, Sir L.A., for that very precious words to give us their reflections on this message that we received this morning. I would like to call one of the department heads of Suno International Academy. He is also a product of the institution that our true parents have invested in this country, the International Peace Leadership College, and also a product of the international trainings that our true parents have initiated. Let's welcome for his reflection, Teacher Jarwin Malye.
Good morning, heavenly parents. Good morning, true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Good morning, leaders, elders, brothers, and sisters. A precious morning to everyone. It's been a long time since I haven't shared in reflection during Hunduke. Of course, we do Hunduke individually, but now it's really a great opportunity. Who could have thought that we can have this kind of national Hunduke all together, doing Hunduke the same time nationally through this virtual platform. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, even not just national, but other countries can join also. So thank you very much. So thank you for the guidance for this day. Thank you, Sir LA. And the content is really important and reminds me of all the experiences I had. Actually, every slide, every slide presentation in the title. So all the experiences kept flashing when I was a student up to the time, or from the time that I met your parents through the 3-day seminar, 7-day seminar, 21-day seminar, and all the seminar up to the time that I became a student in IPLC, and until the current time. So it's very striking for me. The first slide: a true life is a life in which we abandon our private desires and we live for public good. So the first thing that flashback in my mind was when I was in IPLC, when I was a student, because unlike other members of the church who met two parents or became full time in the centers, I was my life of faith was raised in school of two parents, which is the IPLC, and that the trainings were different, and so of course in IPLC, you know already the curriculum, there is fundraising and other trainings, witnessing and other things. So I struggled a lot, and I will not name all those struggles, but there are so many times, not just once, twice, so many times that I thought to myself during the time that I have to quit schooling at IPLC. I have to stop studying in IPLC because my family needs me and other personal desires. But true parents is teaching is very precious, and through the next slide, our heart is more precious than our parents, our heart is more precious than our closest friends. So it is our heart, it is my heart during the time that saved me from that uh, decision of uh, quitting or not quitting, because it is my heart that I understand the heart of true parents, that I understand the heart of God, I understand the teachings of true parents. So truly through prayer and meditation, I was able to overcame that part of my in my life of faith. So yes, I was able to graduate in IPLC, but and after that doing missions and that's why it says here that it will not happen a day. So I remember the guidance of our late president during that time, Atty. Celso Salaba, and that was the last guidance that was really memorable because that was the last guidance before he departed to the spiritual world. And there was an issue that time of having H1 group or H, and then he gave guidance to all of us that you to all the students, you need to cultivate your life of faith. Your model, your role model should be only true parents, no one else. Of course, God, but true parents. You may uh, look at us as your inspiration, the leaders, me, and all other brothers and sisters. But at the end of the day, only we only have to look up to parents. Because if that person, if that leader, if that brother, if that sister whom you are looking at failed his or her responsibility, what will you do? Will your inspiration last? Will continue? So that's the point of another challenge for us. And personally, up until now, that's my greatest uh, guidance that I am always uh, thinking whenever I had a problem or challenges about my life of faith. Always true parents. And that um, up until the time that what do you call that? When we were in the hospital, you know, again that's my in here our heart is more precious than anybody else. Was spiritual parents. Uh, I'm talking about the time that we were in the hospital when my wife gave to our second baby, and you know there's a COVID-19 pandemic. It's not that easy, and it's an emergency. And then I called Sir Robert in that morning, very early in the morning, and that it's really unexpected. We failed to charge our phones, and then during the time that I was in the hospital, I cannot reach anybody because my phone uh was low bat, so only one cell phone is functioning the time, and I was able to at least text uh, my sister to post in the Facebook like that, uh, and then asking for prayers. But uh, during the 16 days in the hospital, I realized so many things, and I was able to look back on my life of faith because the only thing that I brought is the book of True Mother, which when our first baby was born, I brought uh, the Divine Principle. So while I was in the hospital, uh, I while waiting for my name to be called, I am reading this one. And like Sir L.A. said, in the guidance, of course, the true parents' words, our heart is more precious uh, than our than parents or anyone else. So really, the only one that I am kept in communication with is through the prayers, is God and true parents, so while reading the book, and uh, and that of course praying because of the COVID-19 pandemic, it's very difficult because I cannot see my wife and even my baby beside me because we are not allowed, all the guardians or the patients are not allowed to come inside the hospital or even the room uh, unless we we, were, we are called. Uh, and that the only thing that uh, I rely on for me not to think negative or to overcome uh, my nervousness. So because the reality, if you are in the hospital and somebody is there, family or relative, so only God and two parents is the thing that I always think of during the time. So time by itself is empty. So during the time, I don't know what time is it now. So anyway, that literally, but it's really important for us to realize that personally myself, uh, if I didn't experience challenges in life, trials, I will not be a person uh, that I am now today because the challenges and trials are the the stepping stone for me uh, to be mature in decision making, especially that we started family and we are in the process of being, uh, you know, a central blessed family because uh, during IPLC time, I was a student, so it's different when the time that you are single and then going to the time that you are already have a family. So I realize in that in life we have to be optimistic always, and we have to be optimistic in the sense that the center of it should be our heavenly parents and true parents. So I know for myself that I have so many shortcomings and limitations, mm, especially when it comes to fulfilling my responsibilities uh, in in everything. Because there's a responsibility in the church, a responsibility in the work, responsibility in my family. So uh, I'm working on it, and so our elder brothers and sisters could, of course, you have so many things you can share to all of us. Uh, uh, Starting just starting a family, and yeah, but our commitment as a Blessed Central family is that we are on the process. So if we cannot do our part fully right now, I believe that that's what in my mind that I kept on praying to God and to parents that we are apologetic, that we cannot all fully fulfill our portion of responsibility, but we believe that the right time, there's always a perfect time for everything. So, for that, I thank you very much for the opportunity that God and True Parents has given to us as a couple, for our family, and for all the experiences and learning when I was a student in IPLC. So many things to be grateful and thankful for, and for this day's morning devotion guidance by our national leader. Thank you very much. So that would be my sharing, and because there are other uh, personnel who will share also. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sir Jarwin, for sharing your heart, and congratulations for your new baby. More babies to come.
Last na po yun, sir.
Okay. So next to give his reflection is one of the personnel of the academy that at the beginning he doesn't know true parents and the principal, but with his gradual experience with the academy, he could feel true parents' love through the academy, and his experience with our personnel and our students. He gradually is learning, and now I believe that he is ready to share his reflection. Let us welcome Teacher Michael Dumondon.
Hello po. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our heavenly parents and true parents, to our leaders, and for our brothers and sisters. Good morning po. So I would like to thank you for letting me be part of this event, most especially for being part of this window for this morning. And thank you very much to our national leader, Sir Leo, for that wonderful guidance. Thank you, sir. And for my reflection, so we talked a while ago is regarding with the guidance or from the legacy that we have learned or we need to learn and to exercise coming from the experiences of our true parents. So based from our national leaders guidance is for us to reflect on how we could live through life by abandoning our desires or our own desires. Instead, we need to live for the sake of others. Okay. So this is what I love, being part of the Family Federation. By set aside being our own desires, I saw that really from our brothers and sisters whom I work with, for the members or the core members whom I being with right now, most especially to my spiritual mother, Teacher Maribeth. Thank you for letting me experiencing that, and of course, educating me into that. So to be completely also united with our hearts for us to be able to coexist with others, especially to God-given and prepared partners. So as for our brothers and sisters like me who didn't yet undergo to the process of matching and of course receiving the blessing, is for us to reflect to the legacy of true parents, to our leaders, and our blessed families who's living within the standard of heaven. How they lead their life, leaving legacy to the young generations, and how we can learn from them. So as for me who didn't receive yet the blessing, okay, I'm looking forward more for the learnings that I could receive from the blessed families surrounding me, of course. So excerpt from the guidance of our national leader, it says that we do not come into this world or depart from it of our own accord. We have no ability to make our own choice regard to our fate. We are born, though we did not choose to be born. So we can reflect on how we can fulfill things that heavenly parents entrusted us to accomplish here in the physical world by doing our portion of responsibility. So as we know already that we have only 5% to do so into the portion of responsibility. So at least it is still it's needing our 100% effort for us to accomplish that. Because without doing it, and we cannot fulfill it alone. So we need partners, we need someone to be with us to fulfill that. So as for Sir Jarwin a while ago reflected, he was able to surpasses the challenges of his life of faith, not by on himself, but rather with the help of others, with his partner, and most especially other blessed families also. So especially for this era, how do we realign ourselves and how our faith is right now, no matter how difficult our individual circumstances is, especially for this time of trying midst of the global pandemic, which is the COVID-19. So it's really a challenge for us. How would we going to reflect? Our life of faith is always been tested, not only by the temptation given by Satan, but also by by heavenly parents to strengthen our spiritual self. For all of us, for all of the suffering we are in right now, think of it as a challenge from above. And after these circumstances, a better and brighter future waiting for us. We should always not think being left behind, but rather alongside with us throughout these challenges is heavenly parents, guiding us in the thorny path we are in and returning need to enrich our and cultivate the faith that we have for true parents and the heavenly parents. So that's all I can leave for you, our brothers and sisters. Again, thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you very much for all those viewing this. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Sir Michael, for sharing your heart. Your desire is heard, that you want to get blessed and you want to get much. So just wait. Thank you very much for those who shared their reflections. I know many of you wanted to share reflection with these precious words. But let us again welcome our national leader for his final message to each and every one of us.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Robert. So today we have our Vice President, Reverend Ronnie, to give his final guidance. Let's welcome him, si Reverend Ronnie. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause.
Unmute na ako. Yun, I can unmute. Good morning, Heavenly Parents and our victorious true parents. Good morning po, everyone. Good morning, NL. Leaving behind a legacy of love. Talking about 7 years. If I were to give my reflection po siguro and guidance for this morning Hunduke, perhaps I would want to share to everyone po yung what we have to endure to stay in our life of faith po. Especially as I attend yesterday's yung YSP World Assembly po natin, I do realize sometimes that as a youth leader po, be having this kind of position, minsan po nararamdaman natin, we could feel that is this really the right path? Is this really the right is this really my destiny? Parang ganun po ba? Pero now that I came to realize from the Hunduke everything that when we live the spirit world po, when we go to the spirit world, hindi pala talaga natin madadala lahat ng mga yaman or everything. It's really how much we love people. And then sabi din po nila that it's not about how you help, magkano yung hinelp mo, but it's about how you make people feel that people cannot forget you. So I think po, while we are here on earth, to the extent of how much we love people, we are being remembered later on po. Ako rin in my life of faith po, the people that I cannot forget are the people who really love me, the people that I really love so much. Jarwin is here. Yung sa reflection po ni Jarwin about IPLC, and in our era po, no one can really forget about the late attorney Celso Talaba, not because he is the president, not by position, but because of the love that we have received from him while he is with us. The tiny moments we share together when he wake us up during hunduke, ganun, kapag nalilate po kami ng gising. And then I think the legacy of true parents din po is not about the riches, it's not about the money that they bring in the world, but the legacy of true parents is the love that we have received, the unconditional love that we have received with true mother, the unconditional love that we have received with true father is the thing that we really cannot forget. I believe yun po yung legacy nila. And Father said, although we live for 80 years, but actually we are just living 7 years, right? Kung tatanggalin daw po natin yung, sabi nga ni NL, yung pangsarili natin, like sleeping, going to toilet and everything. So, I think, ganun din po. Siguro, no matter what our mission right now, let's do not forget to love. Kasi loving people is the greatest legacy po that we can leave behind. I believe that when we're speaking legacy, yung hindi tayo makakalimutan. And it's the biggest thing that we can do while living our life here on earth. And ako rin po actually in myself, even in my position, sometimes, sabi ko nga kanina, I ask myself, tama ba to? Kaya ko ba? Ganon. Pero actually, nag-hard work lang po ako, and then not by talent, but I'm working hard to love as much people as I can, to love people who were trusted by true parents to be guide, that na kaya ko pong i-guide. And yun lang din po. I believe na sa araw-araw po ng buhay natin, when we are doing whether HTM or nagwo-work tayo outside, we can make greatest impact when we love people. Yesterday din po, during the YSP World Assembly, I think the greatest realization I have was that true parents trying to show us not to do it alone, na yung life of faith po natin hindi lang talaga para sa atin, and we can work with outside people. I believe that True Mother is showing us that we should be proud of our life of faith. We should be proud of really sharing true parents' love, even without telling them that it's true parents' love. You know, if they could feel that the love of heavenly parents and true parents that we carry and sharing it to them, I think it's more than enough. Kaya po, although hindi nagsalita si True Mother yesterday during the big event, but I could really strongly feel True Mother's love. And I believe na kahit saan man po tayo, whether you're working inside the church or working outside, when we love people, we are leaving behind the legacy not just of ourselves, but we are also spreading the legacy of true parents. Because God is love, true parents is love po. So please do not forget to love. And let's continue po living our 7 years life together with heavenly parents and true parents. Thank you so much po, and magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Thank you po.
Thank you very much, Sir Ronnie, for sharing that wonderful message to each and every one of us. So, just before our closing prayer, brothers and sisters, let me just make some few announcements centering on our Sunwa International Academy. As mentioned by our national leader, on our True Parents Legacy of Love. And personally, I believe that this is one of the legacy that our True Parents is giving to us as a country. a second daughter nation, when they have given us this wonderful gift. So this is our Sunwa International Academy located now in its new campus. So we have 4 buildings there. This is the administration building that is about to be finished. This is now the functional school building that we are using. This is the dormitory or the ESL building and this gymnasium. So I would like to make my announcement centering on the special program that is being offered in the academy to our blessed central families. As you know, Sunwa has been founded on the ideals of true parents in raising up our second generation that while they learn academically, they also have to learn the tradition of our true parents. And it's very wonderful place for our children to learn true parents tradition. So this is the program that is, I've said, being offered in the academy, the Sunwa Education Program. This is given to um, members of our church in helping the providential purpose of the academy to educate the blessed children through formal basic education. So this is a formal invitation now to all blessed families, not only here in Antipolo or nearby cities of the academy, but this is open to all blessed families, um, especially those around the country. So if this we have to take this opportunity because it's not easy for our academy to um, offer online courses, but due to this pandemic, it naturally came about that the Department of Education uh, opened this. Actually, it is happening to all academic institutions. So let us take this opportunity to let our children avail of this program of the academy that they can enroll um, while we still have this online platform, the online class. This SHEP or the Sunwa Education Program that is being offered in the academy actually is a special program of the church that we give scholarship grants to deserving children of blessed central families. Your tuition fee bracket will be determined based on the combined income of parents. This will be determined during the time that you will be interviewed by our screening committee of the education program. And for this academic year, miscellaneous fee for successful SHEP enrollees will be 25% off. So for those who are interested, here are the requirements. You need to obtain certificate of monthly income or any document that can verify your income as husband and wife. So proof of income po ito. And also certificate of good moral, tithes, and attendance on worship service to be obtained through your local leader, your regional leader, and local BFD. So they have to make this certification. And for you to be qualified, you have to be at least associate member based on the reporting format that is being done this time by our international. At least associate member during the time of application, and during the academic year, you have to be a regular member during the academic year, because failure to become regular member during your enrollment can be a ground for grant termination. Also, you have to have your photocopy of your church ID. So you can send that as a requirement. Application form, you will, if you are interested, the application form will be given to you, and soon it is available on a Google form. If transfer from other school, so those who are already enrolled in other schools, you can transfer actually, but you need to give that transcript. And for those who are enrolled, this new balance. This is applicable to those who are already enrolled this time in the academy. So we have to settle that balance before enrollment. And also you have to participate in service projects of the academy. You may not go physically to the academy and make some projects, but there are projects initiated by the academy uh, that you can join, and also some enhancement activities that some fundraising drives that the academy will be doing, that you have to participate. And during your enrollment to this program, you have to bring at least 2 paying enrollees. So this is uh, these are the requirements for SHEP. We are actually the leaders of the academy is opening up this Sunwa education program, so that our children, maybe you are located at the regions in Visayas or in Mindanao or here in Luzon or areas in Antipolo, but you can have the opportunity now to enroll through online class. So this is open from preschool up to grade 12. So remember that you soon there will be a schedule per region through our SHEP committee that we will be conducting an orientation. So you will be notified through your regional leaders. So you will be contacted, and maybe we can have an online orientation for those who are interested. So you can screenshot these requirements now before I move to the next page. Or anyway, we'll just be forwarding this through your regional leaders so that you can prepare if you are interested. So you can actually contact the academy through our official Facebook page. You can like our official Facebook page and leave a message there in our inbox, and we get back at you, or you can email us at sunwa_academy@yahoo.com. Here is our local number, 8986-3550. So as I've said, orientation per region will be scheduled. So through your leaders, you will be notified, you will be invited. Also, we're planning that this coming summer, by the end of April, we'll be having our culmination for the current academic year. And after that, there will be a summer program that will be offered. This is also online. This is an opportunity for those who are interested to have a taste of how Sunwa conducts its academics. So you can enroll here. Doon sa mga may anak dyan na gusto ng ready for enrolling, and also yung mga kahit na ongoing na yung kanilang pag-aaral. As I've said, this is open for preschool and up to grade 12. But for SHEP, this is only open for preschool up to grade 10. Opo, yung Sunwa Education Program. Hanggang grade 10 lang po ha. Pero if your children are already in grades 11 and 12, still, if they are interested to enroll at Sunwa, anyway, it is a very wonderful time that we can learn together at the academy and substantially experience this love from our true parents. This very beautiful place that our true parents have given us. Okay, so this is my announcement for this morning, brothers and sisters. For the closing prayer, may I call now the registrar of the academy, Ma'am Christine Libres, for her prayer.
Okay, good morning, brothers and sisters. Let's join me in my prayer. Good morning to our loving heavenly parents and our first two parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. First and foremost, Father, today we would like to offer our deepest gratitude for this another wonderful day and for receiving your love and guidance through the precious words given by our national leader, and as well as to those who have given their reflections that really enlighten our mind and our hearts and reminding us of our portion of responsibility and how to live our life for the sake of others and to live our life to a public good. Heavenly parents, how lucky we are that we are living in this time because we are given an opportunity to live our life for a public good and living for the sake of others. Our This is our foundation also in the unification of our North and South Korea, and without the heavenly parents would not in this world. And hopefully, Father, we could truly do more for our heavenly parents and true parents, and give us more power and strength, heavenly parents, in doing this. And also, uh, we are praying for the good health and protection of our beloved true mother who is really working so hard this time. And to all our leaders, our national leaders from entire world, heavenly parents, who are really sacrificing their life and time, heavenly parents, just to serve and help our beloved true mother in the providence of restoration, heavenly parents. And we are so thankful and grateful for this day because we receive a lot of inspiration from our national leader, our Sir Ronnie, and to all those brothers and sisters who did the reflection, because we are reminded by our what will going to do in this time, heavenly parents. We hopefully that today will be a fruitful day and productive day to everyone. And let's live our life with a legacy of love. Thank you so much, heavenly parents, for everything, for the blessing that we have received in our daily life, heavenly parents. That's how I pray on behalf of our single figure in this precious brothers and sisters. In your parents' name, Drew.
Jew. Let us now offer our individual prayer. Aju, Aju, Aju. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters, for attending this morning devotion together with our leaders, with our brothers and sisters all over the country and around the world, those who are present.